Yesterday, I totally lost my cool. We're talking DEFCON 5 loss of chill. I really lost it. And it's because I've been finding myself particularly stretched, strained, and anxious. Now, I'm not usually a person who suffers from anxiety. I'm usually able to handle my emotions, to figure out where they're coming from, to give myself time and space to process them, and to move forward in a productive way. But lately, I've been feeling really anxious. I'm carrying a lot of stress and a lot of burden, just like you are. I'm a solo parent, I'm a business owner, I have to retool how my business is operating to work with clients in whole new ways. It's been a lot. Things are stressful, and I know that I'm not alone. And yesterday, when I found myself on the verge of really losing my cool, I needed to take a moment and to really follow my own advice, to take some time, to take some space, to regroup, to refuel, and to allow myself a little bit of grace, knowing that I'm being stretched and pulled way more now than usual. Most of us live our lives fully planted in our comfort zone. Our comfort zone are the habits and the behaviors and the activities that we're used to doing, that we rely on. For some of us, it's driving the same way to work every day. For other people, it's doing the same sort of work for year after year after year. And suddenly, we're all placed into our discomfort zone. Our discomfort zone is that band all around our comfort zone. If you think of the comfort zone as a circle, the discomfort zone is a concentric circle right outside of it. That's a band. If we embrace that discomfort zone, we can expand our circle, which means as a human, we can develop new resources, we can grow, we can develop habits or traits or improve character traits that didn't exist or existed in a limited way inside of us before. But if we resist that growth moment, if we don't like being in the discomfort, who does? If we really resist it, what happens is we start to contract and we start to squeeze and stress and strain. And that strain is showing up in so many unusual ways. Forums that I've belonged to for years that are usually positive and encouraging are breaking out into brawls. People who are usually even and level-headed are spouting a lot of negativity. You're seeing it all around in places that are really unusual. People are unsettled, and it's showing up in a really unsettled way. And I wanted to share with you that it's okay if you lose your shit too, right? I'm not saying free reign, free license, do whatever you want, but give yourself a little grace. We're all under a lot of pressure, and it is all right if you're feeling pulled and stretched out of your comfort zone. What the reason that we lose our cool and that we lose it is that we're resisting the discomfort. We just want to be comfortable again. We don't want this to be our reality, and so we're pushing up against it. Instead of just saying, okay, this is our reality. What can I do about it? What can I do productively here? We're trying to get back to a place that's gone for us for the moment. When we live on the edge of our comfort zone and into our discomfort zone on a continual basis, it can be really disorienting. I'm a person who loves personal growth. I love to understand how I tick. I love to grow as a human being. I love to develop pieces of myself that are underdeveloped or to grow. I'm even more about growing on strengths, building on strengths. And I really love that process. I delight in it. But when I have to grow exponentially everywhere all at once, it can be a little bit much. And I know that if it's a little bit much for me, a person who likes to live on the edge of their comfort zone and embraces the discomfort zone, for those of us for whom we don't like to do that, it can be even worse. So what I wanted to do today is to share with you that it's all right if you're feeling stressed and strained. Give yourself space to regroup and give yourself a few things that really nourish you and that help and support you in this. Because if you don't, you're just going to get more and more depleted. The way that I've been explaining it to a lot of my clients is that it's like having an underlying layer of smoldering coals. They're just smoldering there. But if the right breeze comes, it's going to turn into a flash fire. You don't want that. Mind those coals. Pay attention to what's smoldering underneath. And before it gets risky and turns into a flash fire and you lose your cool like I did yesterday, you want to put water on those so that they really aren't risky for you. So what I'm encouraging you to do is to take a little inventory of your current brand new life that you've got going on here under COVID-19 and to look at the areas that you feel overly stretched. Is this a gift for you where you're getting to grow as a person, or is this a risk for you that you need to mitigate and give yourself extra time and space to navigate? So make sure that you're being really intentional about looking at yourself and giving yourself space where you need it, and recognizing that there really is a gift in the stretch. In the stretch, we all get the opportunity to expand. And when we resist the expansion, we start to contract and to get negative and small and petty. When you look back at your COVID-19 experience, my question to you is, what do you want to say about it? Do you want to be proud of what you did, proud of how you reacted, proud of what you accomplished, or do you want to look back with shame and embarrassment and feeling small and less? I, for one, want to look back with pride. And I know that yesterday, probably one of the hardest parenting days of my life, one of the days I've been most anxious, and I'm not a person who gets really anxious, that day, probably not my shiningest of moments, but I handled it well. After I had a little flare-up, I didn't let my flare-up turn into a wildfire. I stopped it. I gave myself space. I stepped away from myself almost. I social distanced myself from myself. I handled it, and I didn't let it ruin everything else. I didn't let it burn my life down, burn relationships down in a huge forest fire. So I want you to be able to look back with pride too. And what that might take is recognizing which of the areas of stretching and growing are a gift to you that you're going to embrace and lean into that growth, and which are a risk for you that you really need to be cautious and careful and give yourself the resources to make sure that you handle it gracefully. So with that, I want to wish you all a really powerful and positive weekend. So stay healthy, stay safe out there, make sure that you subscribe, and stay tuned for more. See you soon.